Let's look closer at the Google Nexus 5 made by LG. What's going on, everybody? My name is Tomas, and in this one I'm going to review the Google Nexus 5. I have the black 32GB model, and I've spent a little over a month with the handset, so I think I've got a pretty good idea on what the phone does well and not so well. Google is selling this thing off contract for $349 USD for the 16GB variant. Tack on an additional $50 and you can get the 32GB version. The phone is accompanied by a SIM ejection tool, plenty of documentation, a micro USB cable, and 120 to 240 volt wall wart. With that, you can pretty much charge your phone anywhere in the world. A disclaimer with this: I found for those of you that have this handset or are thinking about getting it, ensure that you don't lose your SIM tray ejection tool. The ejection hole is smaller than other phones, so you can't use a paperclip or anything to get the SIM tray out. The phone has a premium feel to it without the premium price. The camera is an 8 megapixel shooter equipped with optical image stabilization. Around the left side of the phone is a clean cut ceramic volume rocker. Up top are 3.5 millimeter headphone jack and a noise canceling microphone. Down the right is a ceramic power sleep wake button and the SIM card tray. The bottom is equipped with a mono speaker, micro USB input, and a microphone disguised behind the same design speaker grill. The face of the device is a 4.95 inch 1920 by 1080 full HD IPS display covered by Corning's Gorilla Glass 3. Personally, for the cost of this phone, the build quality is perfect. You surely won't be disappointed. I really enjoy the feel of the black model as it has matte finish surrounding the phone and on the back. I can't speak to the glossy surroundings found on the white version, but I personally prefer the matte finish. Probably the most important aspect to me is the phone's usable storage. I was pleasantly surprised to find nearly 26 gigabytes of usable space in the 32GB variant. This is to attribute to Android 4.4 KitKat's file management. Instead of going through a full list of specs, which you can find on the Google Play Store, I think I'll start talking about what I like and what I don't like about this phone. First and foremost, the way the Nexus 5 has implemented Google Now has changed the way I use my phone. With that though, I think Google Now does need to be improved to integrate on a deeper level with the system framework. By that I mean I'd like to be able to toggle settings within Android. For example, you cannot give a voice command to toggle on and off Wi-Fi. I'm optimistic about this though, because Google tells you that this action is not supported, which leads me to believe that it will at some point get full support. Before I continue, I need to preface this portion of my video by saying I am no camera guy, and the camera that shipped with 4.4 was more than enough for me. But with the release of 4.4.2, the update brought significant improvements to the camera. Two of the most noticeable changes would be the shutter speed and the HDR progress circle, which I'm glad for because I was always moving the camera before the image was finished processing. You can expect significant gains with 4.4.2 in the camera department. Shutter speed is much improved and you should be able to quickly capture a photo if the need presents itself. Although I think you'd be hard pressed if you were trying to take a picture of something that was moving quickly. The user interface can become quite cumbersome as some settings are buried in other settings. The drill down design could use an overhaul. I found it annoying at times and I just ended up snapping photos without making any edits or changing any settings to the camera itself. I took photos under KitKat 4.4 and then took similar photos after the update to 4.4.2. I snapped both regular and HDR photos. I'll let you be the judge of which are better because I have no idea where to begin to explain the differences. Personally, the improvements that 4.4.2 bring are significant enough for me to choose the pictures that I took after the update. The filming aspect of the Nexus 5's camera is above par. The OIS really kicks in if you don't have a steady hand. In addition to that, if you do have a steady hand, it just improves your shot. With that, the microphone is impeccable. It does a great job of capturing the sound around you. My number one gripe about the handset is speaker quality. To be frank, it's horrendous, and it is something that may be a deal breaker if you're considering this phone. Although it did see an update in 4.4.2 as well. Take a listen. The software made a slight improvement to the speaker, but it's not anything to get excited about. Call quality is excellent, signal strength is outstanding with this handset. However, there's a caveat for T-Mobile customers. Wi-Fi calling is not supported with the Nexus 5, so if you're in an area with spotty coverage, you will need to take this into consideration if you're going to go with this phone or not. Now the golden question. How's battery life? The phone is equipped with a solid 2300 milliamp hour battery that easily gets me through a day of normal use. But if you're a power user, I would highly suggest you invest in a wireless charging pad, aka a Qi-enabled charger, because the Nexus 5 supports it. I've been impressed with the battery so far. I'll close this review out by addressing the IPS display. Coming from an AMOLED screen, I can say I prefer the IPS because it doesn't oversaturate colors. Viewing angles are decent. I will say outdoor viewing is much improved over the AMOLED display. That's to say I'm coming from the Samsung Galaxy S3. That about does it for me in this one, guys. If you liked what you saw here, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. If not, hit the dislike button. Your feedback is valuable to me. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. In addition to that, feel free to check out some of my other YouTube works. Thanks for taking the time to watch this review. Have a great day.